Be mindful of how we use social media. It's not just about the platforms themselves.
To the preservation of the national unity and democratic stability.
Water is life, water is an essential service, and then we must have to carry out the residents.
Local communities are not only vital to the growth of society, but they also form the bedrock of humanitarian development.
Hello and welcome to The Reporter, a news and current affairs program that goes beyond the headlines, bringing reporters from the field to give you first-hand accounts and in-depth analysis of unfolding issues, correspondence perspectives of exciting analysis or in-depth analysis of unfolding issues, ensuring balanced, credible and comprehensive storytelling. Welcome once again. I am Anieti Patrick. Let's quickly take you to electoral matters. Chairman, Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC), Professor Josh Amopiton, has urged security agencies to be alert on ballot snatchers, vote buyers, and other electoral law violators ahead of the Federal Capital Territory area council elections and forthcoming polls across the country. He gave the charge in Abuja at the first regular meeting of the Interagency Consultative Committee on Election Security. Sadia Yakubu was there for Global Television.
Chairman, Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) Professor Josh Amopiton urged security agencies to ensure strict enforcement of the law, prevent the misuse of thugs, curb vote buying, as well as guarantee the safety of voters and election personnel on election day. He added that effective enforcement and swift response is critical in safeguarding the electoral process.
As campaigns draw to a close on Thursday, 19 February 2026, we look to the security agencies to ensure strict enforcement of the law, prevent misuse of thugs, prevent the use of thugs, curb vote buying, and guarantee the safety of voters.
Representing the National Security Advisor and ICCES co-chair Hassan Abdullahi says the security agencies is mobilizing resources and implementing measures to prevent any actions that could disrupt the electoral process. He noted that adequate security personnel will be deployed to police stations and high-risk electoral wards in order to restrain political thugs before, during and after the elections.
The Nigerian Police Force, designated as the lead agency for election security, in collaboration with other security and law enforcement agencies, is actively mobilizing resources and implementing measures to prevent any action that could disrupt the electoral process.
The Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetokun, who was represented by the Anambra State Commissioner of Police, Abayomi Shogunle, reiterated the police commitment to provide adequate security during and after the election.
The Nigerian Police Force will continue to deploy massively for all elections across the country, and the purpose of this is to ensure that elections are violence-free and peaceful.
INEC and security agencies are sending a strong warning to anyone planning to disrupt the polls. Electoral laws will be enforced and offenders will be held accountable. With heightened security measures in place, authorities are vowing a safe, credible and transparent voting process. From Abuja, Sadia Yakubu for Global Television.
And joining me live in the studio is Sadia Yakubu to bring us up to speed on what the security intend to do ahead of the FCT area council election. Hello, Sadia. It's good to have you join me.
Anita Patrick, good evening and nice having me in the studio as well.
Amazing. Well, you were there. Repeated warnings about ballot snatchers and vote buying. How prepared do you think INEC and security agencies will decisively stop electoral offenders during this FCT area council elections?
All right. Once again, good evening, viewers, and Anita Patrick. For what the security agencies said today earlier, they said they are going to mobilize security personnel, enough security personnel to various polling stations or polling units to counter this issue of vote buying and every other issues surrounding polling units. So I think it's just all about mobilizing of more personnel, security agencies. So
with subsequent elections, we've always seen where the security agencies will say they're going to be there, they're going to mount the situations on ground and all that. But this time around, INEC is emphasizing on ballot snatching. Do you see or do you foresee that kind of scenario playing out? Because obviously security agents are going to be on alert for that day.
And you know, they would, even if they can't control, even if they can't stop it, it will drop drastically it will reduce compared to before. You get, because the way they spoke during the meeting today, it really tells how prepared they are. They are organized. Both the sister agencies, all the personnel are coming together, all the security agencies are coming together, right, to see to the end of this particular problem. So for me, they are prepared. But even if they can't stop it 100%,
it should be minimized.
Yes, it will be minimized.
Okay, well, from what we see, as security agencies or deployments increase across high-risk areas, because there are high-risk areas in the area council, will voters see a truly safe and transparent reason, or will they hold back to the old tactics, still threatening the credibility of the process? Because obviously, voter apathy has been one discussion in the front burner. Do you see them coming out en masse with these assurances coming from the security agencies?
So, you know, Nigeria, our country, even if INEC and the security agencies will give them assurance, still, or despite that, we're going to have some people that would stay back home, despite the effort of the security agencies and the INEC. You get? So, to me, I really don't know, but I think people will come out and vote for their candidates.
Okay, well, amazing. Thank you so much, Sadia, for coming through, and we look forward to a more fruitful or engaging exercise during the area council election. Thank you, Sadia.
Thank you very much.
Well, let's move to some health matters. The Nigerian Cancer Society says the country is witnessing an increase in cancer cases among young people, with children as young as 12 years old now being diagnosed with the disease. President of the Nigeria Cancer Society, Professor Abidemi Omonisi, revealed this in an exclusive interview with Global Television. Zarao Nasil tells us more.
Professor Abidemi Omonisi stated that the reviewed data from cancer registries across the country shows an increase of colorectal cancer among teenagers, which is usually common in adults. Omonisi further mentioned that blood and breast cancers are on the rise among young people, decrying the lack of attention to blood cancers and survivors of the condition.
Younger population are coming down with cancer, particularly cancer of the colon and cancer of the breast. Many years ago, about 10 years ago, somebody have cancer, you can almost predict the age that fellow will be 50 and above. But the situation now have really changed because we have 25, 30, even 12 year-old lady having breast cancer. The answer to that is that the younger ones are more exposed to, they are getting more exposed to environmental factors. But anytime you see cancer in the young, most likely it's primarily driven by genetics.
The president disclosed that more than 30 states across the country have no cancer control plans, leaving millions of Nigerians without access to diagnostic facilities or treatment centers.
So again, you also need to have a plan, cancer control plan. Just yesterday, the Honorable Minister of State for Health launched the 2026 to 2030 National Cancer Control Plan. So we are part of the committee that actually drafted that plan, and also part of that review the plan. So we're part of cancer policy. In fact, there is no cancer policy in Nigeria, and the Nigerian Cancer Society is not part of the drafting. Of course, us as cancer advocates, advocacy is very important. We do a lot of community advocacy. That's why you see every World Cancer Day, you see our people all over the state, like yesterday, all over Nigeria. The state in Nigeria, you see people, doing cancer work and taking awareness.
So he appealed to the federal government to double effort in supporting cancer survivors across the country, as they are still on medication, and the drugs imported to the country are expensive. Zahra Unasir, reporting for Global TV.
Bringing us up to speed on this is our correspondent Zarao Nasiru. Hello Zarao, how are you doing?
Hello, I'm fine.
Okay, so while we're getting Zara to quickly join me and bring us up to speed with the initiative behind the president speaking there, well, we want to find out from Zara with children as young as 12 now being diagnosed with cancer. How urgent is Nigeria's preparedness to detect, treat, and manage cancer among young people, Zara?
Cancer in young people, including children as young as 12, is under critical high priority urgency, as childhood cancer mortality in Africa remain as high as 80%. So while the National Institute for Cancer Research and Treatment is strengthening care and new dedicated pediatric oncology wards which exists in Lagos, the system faces major gaps in early detection, specialized expertise, and infrastructure. So there are key aspects of Nigeria's cancer preparedness for youth, which is number one, there is urgent need for early diagnosis, which many pediatric cancers are diagnosed at late stages, reducing survival rates. Improve awareness, and diagnostics are required to shift from a high mortality rate to the WHO's goal of 60% survival by 2030. So there is another key aspect, like improving infrastructure. While still limited progress is being made, such as the introduction of pediatric radiotherapy services in Lagos. However, the dependence on imported medical products makes treatment, especially for families without insurance, a major financial strain. So there is even capacity building. The National Cancer Control Plan 2020.
So what do you think the government needs to do to prevent this particular challenge right now?
Well, to combat rising youth cancer cases and the lack of state-level plans, the government must immediately implement the National Cancer Control Plan 2026 to 2030. Key steps including expanding hepatitis B vaccinations, deploying mobile screening units to rural areas, and also integrating oncology services into primary health care. So I think these are part of this.
Zara, because obviously from the last conversation I had with you on the issue of cancer on the World Cancer Day, you spoke to me about the implementation of screening at the public primary healthcare centers. And if that is one of the steps the government is looking at, that means they're set to tackle this particular public health crisis head on. Thank you so much, Zara, for coming through on The Reporter. We look forward to more engaging conversation with you.
Thank you very much.
All right, let's move away from that. The Nigeria Customs Service has stepped up efforts to strengthen regional trade, secure transit cargo, and deepen cross-border security cooperation with neighboring countries, particularly the Republic of Niger, as both nations move to tackle trade bottlenecks and shared security threats. The Controller General of Customs, Adewale Adeniyi, stated this in Abuja during a high-level bilateral meeting between the Nigerian Customs and the Niger Republic Customs Administration, led by its Director General Muhammadu Yakubu. Kike Lomo Okere has the rest of the story.
The meeting focused on improving the movement of transit goods bound for Niger through Nigeria, enhancing intelligence and information sharing, reducing delays along major trade corridors, and strengthening security cooperation across shared borders. Comptroller General of Customs, Adewale Adeniyi, says Nigeria remains committed to facilitating trade for landlocked neighbors, stressing that regional trade, security, and stability are closely linked.
Is dedicated to doing everything possible to expedite clearance process and eliminate these complaints, provided that they do not compromise our national security and interests.
The custom boss also warned against the diversion of transit goods, saying strict sanction will be applied for operators who violate transit regulations, as such actions undermine trust and create non-tariff barriers to trade.
Putting in place very stiff penalties, very stiff sanctions and punishments for economic operators who divert goods that are in transit, that are meant for these landlocked countries, so that it will serve as deterrence to others.
The Director General of the Niger Republic Customs described the engagement as a working visit aimed at addressing pressing challenges, including prolonged blockade of transit trucks and rising security concern in the region. He noted that the Republic has intensified its counter-terrorism effort through coordinated security operations and the deployment of scanners to inspect all incoming cargoes.
Issues. He highlighted the challenges confronting the two customs administrations and the two countries of Nigeria and Niger in the area of terrorism and banditry. Believing that this forum will give the two customs administrations the opportunity to find lasting solutions to these challenges.
Also speaking, the National Coordinator, National Counter-Terrorism Center, Major General Garba Laka, reaffirmed Nigeria's commitment to joint security action with Niger, describing insecurity in the Sahel as a shared threat that demands sustained cooperation.
For these agreements on a bilateral basis to be reactivated, if we want this security situation to be addressed.
The engagement marks a renewed push by Nigeria and Niger to strengthen trade facilitation, enhance border security, and deepen regional cooperation for mutual economic and security benefits. Kike Lomo Okere, Global Television News.
And joining me right now is Kike Lomo Okere, who is our business correspondent, to bring us up to speed on what that engagement really means to Nigeria Customs. Hello, Kike. It's good to have you join me on The Reporter. How are you doing, Kike?
I'm good, Aniete. How are you? Good to see you.
Quickly gets on this. With repeated complaints of delays and cargo diversion on key corridors, what concrete changes should traders and transporters expect from this renewed Nigeria-Niger Customs Cooperation, and how soon should this come to play?
The engagement between the Nigeria and Niger Customs goes beyond routine diplomacy. It is a strategic reset of trade and security relation at a time of regional strain. First, on trade, Nigeria is clearly positioning itself as a gateway economy for Sahel by guaranteeing 48 hours clearance for transit cargo and approving safe corridor and other landlocked neighboring delays at the Nigerian ports directly translates to higher price, inflationary pressure, as well as reduced competitiveness. Hello, Anita, can you hear me? Anita, can you hear me? Are you still there?
Kika, if you can hear me. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay, so I'm saying, from what you've given us as a background, as both countries intensify joint security and intelligence sharing, of course, that's what they did at this meeting, how will custom balance stricter enforcement against armed trafficking with the need to keep cross-border trade moving smoothly with this particular engagement?
You know, the meeting underscores a kind of issues between Nigeria and Niger, but right now they want to come together to make sure that they strengthen the border security policy, which is now economic policy and security policy combined together. If sustained, the approach could lower trade costs, strengthen regional trust, as well as deny criminal networks the space they currently exploit. If it fails, old bottlenecks will return, which we don't want it to happen in Nigeria and as well as Niger. With higher security and economic consequence, I believe the collaboration will yield results.
That we get more information and see how this transaction or this meeting plays out and becomes something traders and transporters will benefit from, and then there will be cross-border trade moving smoothly between Nigeria and Niger. Thank you so much, Kike.
Thank you, Anita.
Insane, Nigeria and the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia have moved to deepen their diplomatic ties and overhaul pilgrimage administration following a high-level meeting between Nigeria Foreign Affairs Minister Yusuf Tuga and the Saudi Minister of Hajj and Umrah. Our Foreign Affairs correspondent Ramsey Enokabu tells us more.
During the engagement in Abuja, Nigeria's Foreign Affairs Minister emphasized the visit reflects the enduring bonds of friendship and brotherhood between the two nations, rooted in shared faith and mutual respect. While conveying President Bola Tinubu's message to King Salman bin Abdulaziz Al Saud and Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, the minister reaffirms Nigeria's intention to strengthen bilateral cooperation with the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. He also appreciated the Saudi government for its recent infrastructure investment and visionary reforms designed to enhance the safety and experience of global pilgrims.
Nigeria and Saudi Arabia share a relationship deeply rooted in creed, mutual respect, and strong people-to-people ties. Over the decades, this relationship has continued to flourish across political, economic, cultural, and spiritual dimensions. Cooperation in the administration of Hajj and Umrah remains one of the most significant pillars of this partnership, reflecting our collective responsibility to safeguard the welfare, dignity, and spiritual fulfillment of pilgrims.
Yusuf Tuga, Foreign Affairs Minister. The Minister of Hajj and Umrah of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, Tafiq Al-Rabia, reaffirmed the kingdom's commitment to institutional cooperation with Nigeria. This meeting also find ways to address consular challenges to combat recurring issues like Umrah visas and overstay by Nigerian pilgrims, among others.
We also look forward to the continued joint coordination in preparation for the Hajj season of 1447 Hijri in a manner that enhances operational readiness, contributes to the smooth flow of procedures, and ensures the safety of pilgrims and the quality of services provided to them.
Minister of Hajj. Both parties conveyed strong optimism that the discussion would lead to tangible results and further strengthen the already strong ties between Nigeria and the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Ramsey Enoch Agbo, Global Television News.
And this brings us to the end of the program for today, The Reporter. See you next time. But a quick reminder that Global TV is on DSTV, channel 365, and StarTimes, channel 276. To stay connected, kindly follow us across all social media platforms using @Global TV NG. I am Annie Patrick. Thank you for watching.
Of how we use social media. It's not just about the platforms themselves.
To the preservation of the national unity and democratic stability.
Water is life, water is an essential service, and we put ourselves to carry out the residents.
Local communities are not only vital to the growth of society, but they also form the bedrock of